Ooh,
Dave.
the
Ooh.
power, the power. I've got the intro today, Daniel.
I am completely at your mercy.
Yeah, let's. So I'm going to do a thing. I'm going to go straight into the intro,
Okay.
and here we go. So, hey, welcome to Waiting for Review, a show about the majestic indie developer lifestyle. Join your scintillating hosts to hear about a tiny slice of their thrilling lives. I'm Dave, a recovering vibe coder, and I'm here today with Daniel, bicycle mud flap avoider. Join us while we're waiting for review.
I am a bicycle mud flap avoider. Like I sent you a picture earlier of my butt, very much covered in a vertical stripe
You did,
because
you did.
there was no mud flap, so my butt was the mud flap.
No, no, but I totally understand because your bike will not be modified with mud flaps as well as
Well,
it
the thing
may
is, they
well
have these
be.
clip-on mud flaps,
Yeah,
so maybe I should get one of those.
maybe, maybe.
Usually, I don't want to go out biking when it's shitty weather, but I live
Mm-hmm.
in a city now that has very like moist weather, and fall is starting, and I feel motivated to still go on the bike every now and then. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
might.
You might, and then the other alternative is to just accept that those clothes are going to get to that state and go. Obviously, they'll go straight in the wash anyway.
Or
So
that.
maybe,
Yeah, I have a laundry machine. Like I
yeah,
will be fine.
it could be worse. Anyways, yes, here we are. It's the show. So, how have you been doing, dude?
I am a bit exhausted actually. So I've been traveling. So over the weekend, I went back to my hometown of Augsburg to celebrate Lisa's 40th birthday. Um, Lisa is my co-founder, also the co-founder of TelemetryDeck and my best friend. And so, of course, I wanted to be there. We had
Oh,
a really nice party with fantastic people and just various like bubbly drinks. And it was really nice. And then I
that's
stayed for a
awesome.
few more days, had food with various like Telemetry Deck employees, and also with friends and with people who are both. And yeah, it was very fun, but I am exhausted, like because the hotel was not very good. Like I went for the cheapest possible hotel, basically,
Right.
and somehow I couldn't sleep. Like the bed was bad and the room's air conditioning wasn't like you couldn't really turn it off, and like it decreased the humidity in the air to basically zero.
Oh,
So like I like over the last 6 days or so, I cumulatively got maybe 4 hours of sleep, or feels like at least.
oh no! Did that humidity being basically zero? That means that like left you really dry.
Right. And so
Yeah.
you're lying in that really uncomfortable bed and you're like, oh, my nose is dry, my throat is dry. Like I'm really so thirsty, but I'm so full of water already. And it's like, and then also I had like all these like early in the morning appointments, like or meetings. And so it's like you lie in bed, it's like 2 in the morning, and you're thinking, I really need to sleep. I really need to sleep. I really need to sleep now because tomorrow morning I need to get up and,
Yeah.
so yeah, that wasn't really pleasant. I kind of solved it by keeping the window open at night for the last few,
Hmm.
few nights, which
Yeah, that'll
felt
do
a
it.
bit strange because of what I was at. Um, I was in the bottom floor,
Yeah.
and the window kind of opened right up into the parking lot where people like were hanging around sometimes.
Yeah.
But I could breathe at least, and also like once I actually emailed my coworker at 4 in the morning and told him I won't be able to make the 8 a.m. meeting tomorrow.
Ouch.
And
Yeah, I am currently
they were
still
really
awake
nice about
and
it.
desiccated. I'm not going to make it.
Desiccated, such a nice word.
Yes. Oh, but at least you got to see everybody. That's
Yeah, so that
lovely.
was nice.
And
And yeah, I
hey,
came back just about 24 hours ago.
mhm,
My train got
rehydrated.
canceled. my train got canceled, but I kind of got a different train. Like had to switch trains a few times while crossing
Hmm.
all of Germany, basically. But I got here at the same time, like or slightly earlier actually than the original train, and I had like seats on all the trains and was like kind of comfortable. So like I'm not too mad actually.
Yeah, yeah, that's not a bad overall. Just the hassle of getting on and off.
Right.
Um, hey, if I know Lisa sometimes listens to the show, so Lisa, if you're listening, happy birthday! Yeah.
That sound. Yes.
uh, but
How have you been doing?
have I been doing? Well, we can get into what I've been doing dev wise in a minute, I guess. But I'm doing okay. Otherwise, like um, lots of life going on outside of indie app development and outside of my quote unquote day job. Um, but a few things going on in our house actually in terms of
Mm-hmm.
we're looking at fixing a few things because we bought this house 2 years ago. There's plenty of things to fix, and because it's an older house, so yeah. In fact, I will after this call, I've got somebody coming around to check out. We've got these. I don't know how to describe it. It's called a sunroom here. I don't know if that phrase translates elsewhere, but it's like a conservatory sort of room.
Oh,
But
you
it's
mean a winter garden?
it's part of the house though, right? It's like a room, and it's got and it's built into the house, but the floor is just over concrete, so it's not floorboarded underneath in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the roof has got um, like these plexiglass panels over the top, so you can see all the way out. It's great for when like the moon comes over and stuff. I can sit in there and see things like that. Um, but the panels themselves have got cracks in, so I've got people coming around to
Mm.
quote for that. I have no
Yeah.
idea how much it's going to cost. I hope it's not too expensive, but we're making that room into a really lovely little space. And my wife likes to sit on her laptop and work in there, so I'm like, I have the home office, she doesn't. So this feels like the right balance. Make that room really lovely, and then it's a nice place for her to work in. So yeah, a few
Fantastic.
projects like that going on at the moment. Um, and yeah, anyway, middle aged guy talking about home renos. I'll move on. But yeah, um, have you had a chance to check out iOS 26 because that's landed in the last few days?
Um, yeah, like the one thing about this hotel that was really good was the Wi-Fi somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did download iOS 26 on my phone. I already
Yep.
had macOS 26 beta on my Mac because somehow I wanted to try it out, and I was somehow fearless, even though this Mac is like literally the machine with which I make money. So I don't know what I was thinking, but it was a completely like problem free. Anyway, iOS
Hmm.
26. So
Had you ran
first
the beta,
impression.
by the way, Daniel? Because
No,
was it
I have
literally your
as I
first
said,
impression?
I did run the macOS 26 beta for a week or so before I upgraded to the release candidate now, but I
Mm-hmm.
haven't actually touched a liquid glass design before device before that. So that was
Me either.
my first really real contact, and
Yeah.
so I can't really speak on like how like the design changed in the betas. Like the thing is, because I'm not writing any iOS apps these days, I don't have a reason to really run the betas. And
Yep.
also because I'm slightly chilled on Apple compared to like Daniel from 10 years ago, I'm also not personally
Mm-hmm.
motivated to really run the betas.
Yep.
And so I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna let the like everyone fix like prepare their apps and fix the bugs and everything, and then I'll come in at the end. So yeah, first impression, it actually looks really impressive. Like I don't know if it will age well. Like if I have the
Mm,
feeling it will not age well. I have the feeling it will be very dated very quickly. But
yes.
liquid glass looks so damn cool. Like it is really damn impressive. Like every time I see something underneath a liquid glass pane, like
Yep.
I have to like scroll and then scroll around and like just like marvel at just like how much computing power is just being used at this. And I would love, like, I think I would love someone to really explain how to write a shader that does that. Like what
Yeah.
goes into, but what are the different steps? Like what are the, like, because you can't like ray trace that, of course. So like there needs to be like there are probably some shortcuts or whatever. Like I would
Yep.
love like a YouTube video. Like sometimes I watch these graphics programming videos on YouTube
Yeah.
about like gaming programming and shader programming and whatever. Oh, I would love to see like someone like Isrola or something like just like do this like very in depth. Like how would they do such a thing? So anyway, liquid glass
Yes.
really cool. Feature wise, I have two features that I really like. One is auto mix. Like if you are using Apple Music,
Yep.
your phone can now mix the end of one song into the start of another, and it is surprisingly good. Like it's not as good as a proper DJ, obviously, and it doesn't
Hmm.
look deep into the song. So if you have a song with a long intro, it might get the BPM wrong. Um, but it has like every like most of the time it is just like your music kind of flows into each other and you don't notice the changing of the songs as much, which is kind of nice. And every now and
Yeah.
then like the thing produces like a genius transition between like two completely unrelated songs, and it just fits really well. So yeah, automix is something that like I turn it
I've
on
been
and I
enjoying
haven't
that
turned it
too.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other is spatial photos. Like basically on every in your Photos app, and on every photo, there's a button that says convert this to a spatial photo, and it basically I think it uses like the depth info that is in the photo plus AI to make
Yes.
it spatial, which means that if you tilt your phone, like it looks like one of those rotoscope 3D movies that are kind of like made out of flat planes, but they're slightly like in front of each other.
Yes.
And it is surprisingly cute. Like I don't see myself like, using it all the time, but actually I made I made a TikTok about this feature. Like I was just like sitting at breakfast, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna take a screen recording of how that works. Post it on the
Hmm.
TikToks. It got like 20,000 views. I linked it in
That's
the show notes. Like, like
yeah.
give it like a 20,000 at first view, please. Later.
Awesome. I'll check it out.
Um,
You've
so
just
yeah,
told me about a feature I didn't know about. I've not actually discovered that feature so far, so
I kind of
I
stumbled
will be
over it, like
checking it
just
out.
stumbled on it like just by accident. I don't
Yeah.
think it's very useful, and it's
Well,
probably a gimmick. Like it's probably something one of those. Like iOS has so many features that you use when they come out and then never again. And I think it's one of
yes.
those features, but it's a nice gimmick.
Well, I look at that and I go, that's not fully a feature for the phone. That's kind of a feature for things like Vision Pro, Vision OS potentially. Um, so it's an interesting progression. I sort of feel like I could imagine in a few years' time, rather than you have to activate it, it's just a thing that's kind of there. Not that you would use it all the time, but like flicking into that mode of visualization will just be a button rather than a big feature, or it'll be something that if you're
Right.
um, in the Vision Pro or whatever the device is by that time, you'll have that option to kind of have a view of your photo that has that depth that you can kind of look around in a bit.
Right.
Um,
It looks kind of flat though, because like it's very obvious like
yeah,
the individual layers.
Yep.
are like cardboard cutouts basically.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of nice. I like it, and also the technology to really to like separate the different layers is like really really good, and it
Yes.
doesn't like it does. I assume, like, without knowing any details, like I assume that it does use the depth map as
I
a
would
help.
hope so.
But even
Yeah.
even with even if it doesn't have a depth map because the photo is too old, it will still produce like a surprisingly good result. And I also feel like the same technology is also being used for the lock screen, like where you can now make your make your clock like ludicrously large, which I immediately did because it looks awesome. And then like
Yeah.
the bottom of the numbers will kind of hide between whatever's in the lock screen image. So that is also kind of cool. Like that's probably my
Yeah.
third most favorite feature, or my new cool feature number three. Only thing is, I have my phone set to circle through photos. I told it to show, like, I don't know, cities, vistas, and pets. And so I did
Yes.
lots of Mimi and Momo content, which is nice because it reminds me of them.
Yep.
But somehow it will not hide it will not hide the clock behind elements in the photo there. Like if I actually open up the editor and like open up the picture in, or like the if I open up the lock screen editor and kind of drag it around, it will actually end up. So it will do the detection then, but it won't do it before. So I don't know if this is a
Okay.
battery saving measure, because it would have to do the thing
Probably.
like
Yeah.
because it will load like 10 new photos per day, right? So it would like have to run on these 10 photos every day. But like on the other hand, like do that at midnight when you're charging phone.
Yeah.
Like you're smart.
I don't know. It could just be something that's been missed in that part of what it does.
Yes, maybe.
But
Tim Apple,
I
I
feel
will give you a gold bar if you add
a
this
golden
feature.
apple.
Yes.
As long as it's not like, some gaudy giant golden phone thing or whatever. Um,
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So
yeah.
yeah, how about you?
Um,
How about, do you
how
have
about me?
cool
Yeah.
observations about the new,
So
not so new iOS?
it was interesting kind of going into a new OS cold without having ran the
Hmm.
betas. I mean, I've kind of shot myself in the foot with that. I'll tell you about that in a bit. But my app has got a few glitches on iOS 26, so I'm going to have to roll out
Ooh.
an update. Um, but I've been like you said, it's sort of cooler with Apple in terms of the vibes this year. We've spoken about that a lot on the show earlier on in the year. I was quite frustrated with some of their behavior and blah blah blah. But like, I just didn't want to install a beta this year. I normally run the beta on my iPad. I never put it on my phone because I use my phone far too much to have it mess up with the beta. Um, but I just didn't this year. I just didn't want to go through the bother. And so it's really nice actually to have the quote unquote regular user experience.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it landed. I installed. I usually go first on these things in our household, and then I can kind of inform my family of what to watch out for. Um, and I didn't like it on first. My first impression in the first sort of hour was like, what on earth have they done to the edges of all my icons with this sort of rim around the edge? Like, oh, that looks. I didn't like it.
Hmm.
I'm now in a space where I don't mind it, but I think that's going to be one of the key things that looks really dated. You were saying about things looking dated with this potentially, and I think that's going to be the thing. Like, you'll see it on TV shows or whatever, and you'll be like, "Oh yes, that must be 2025 to 2026." It'll mark it out.
It's the Windows Vista of
Yeah,
iPhones.
yeah. Which means iOS 27 or whatever is probably going to be really quite good because that was what happened after Vista. Windows 7 was a big
Right.
improvement. Um,
The thing is, I
but
don't really mind the. Oh, sorry, you were
I,
talking.
I was just going to say that's been like the one of the only things that I've really disliked. Everything else I've
Hmm.
I've really loved, and I'm kind of in your camp. Like, I love the glass effects. I like the I noticed it with the toggle buttons when they kind of just go blip blip, like a water drop almost when you toggle between something. Um, and it's not earth shattering, right? It's not like, oh my God, this is, the best thing since sliced bread, but it's just like, no, that's interesting. That's fun. And I actually like having a sense of fun in the things I use. So I've enjoyed that. The kind of gotten used to some of the curved edges on things like the keyboard. Um, I think that the Photos app actually seems to make a bit more sense now. I wasn't very keen on recent updates to the Photos app in previous years, but somehow it's feeling a little easier to navigate. Um, so I like that. Um, no standout wow feature beyond just that sort of feeling of like, yeah, this is fun. This is okay. Uh, I did notice we've got the previews app from Mac OS ported to iOS. You have a new app now, probably lurking
Oh
on your
yeah.
home screen. Yeah,
I had like, I don't know, 4 or 5 new apps on my home screen. I was like, what is this? Like
yeah.
cluttering all the space here.
Just so you know they're there. But no, so they've integrated games as well. So you've got games, and you can see Apple Arcade if you've got it, and I think games that you've installed otherwise from the App
Apple
Store
was
are
like,
there.
oh, you want multiple app stores? Sure. Here's the app store. Here's the app store, but with games.
Yeah, where we can surface Apple Arcade. Um, but no, that's kind of fun as well because I do have games on my phone. I don't tend to use that many, but I when I go to reach for a game, I'm not going to go searching through all of my installed apps. So like that solves a bit of a problem. Um, yeah, so that's fun. Um, but yeah, beyond all of these sort of like minor things, I think it just adds up to being a pretty solid experience. Uh, I feel like I say, the next iteration's probably going to be the one where I'm like, hell yeah, this is rocking.
Hmm.
Um, and I've kind of gotten used to the edges around the icons and things. I won't miss them when they go or become something else, but I don't hate them now. It's more just like, yeah, okay, that's how it looks. Um,
I'm the same
yeah.
except for WatchOS. I don't know why, but like the whole liquid glass and everything has like pronounced borders and everything is like a bit over the top visually. On
Hmm.
WatchOS, it pees me off. It pees me off. I don't know why. Every time I look at my watch, I want to curse. It is just too much. Like there's not much space on this screen, like on the watch.
No,
Like
there's
why
even less
fill
on
it with.
mine. I got the smaller one.
And like every time
Yeah.
I need to like enter my passcode or whatever, and like there's like so much space. They're just filled with the edges, and oh,
Yeah,
I don't
but you
know.
need that's so you upgrade to the new watches, right? Where they've got just a little bit more space. Um,
Buy the new 10-inch Apple Watch.
crikey, yeah, it fills your entire arm. Um,
But speaking of which, are you gonna buy any of the new hardware?
I might be, yeah, I wasn't going to, but the new iPhone Pro, the orange color, is definitely
TelemetryDeck
calling
colored.
me. I know. I'm sort of in two minds at whether I'll actually do it in terms of that color. Um, So let me explain. When I upgrade my phone, what happens in our household is what I refer to as the circle of life. Um, my wife tends to get the one I've had, and then one of the kids will get her hand me down, and then whatever's at the end of the chain, I usually have as a test device, which is really handy. Um, so, and my wife has been coveting my iPhone 16 Pro's cameras and was like, if you upgrade, then I could have your old phone. So I'm like, well, if you twist my arm. So I might be, but we'll see. The pre-orders have kind of sold out here in New Zealand, and um, I'm giving it another week to sort of think about and do. But I'm pretty set that I'm going to get it. Um, so yeah, that will be awesome. I'll definitely appreciate the latest cameras. I always do, and certainly with the sort of apps and things I like to make as well. There's always something that I can explore with whatever is new in terms of the camera stack and capabilities. Um, that's the rationalization. Really, I want the new shiny.
But
So
the Pro, not
yeah,
the Air.
not the Air. I want the cameras, and the Air's only got that one fusion camera and no lidar. So I'll be like going backwards for me. I can't do it.
If it, like it has a compromised camera anyway. Like why not make it thin
Yeah,
all the way around? Like just like get rid of the iconic plateau.
yeah. I don't know. I can see some of what they're trying to do with the Air, but it's not for me. I'll get frustrated with that camera immediately. So um,
You want the
yeah,
chunky phone.
I want
Like
the chunky
like
phone.
for years people said, "Oh no, Apple, just give me the chunky. Like make it chunky. Like make it big and just like ugly and give me the battery life." And I think that's what they did.
Well, that's the
I'm
Pro
not saying it's
Max or
ugly.
whatever,
I'm
right?
saying it's
No,
chunky. Like
yeah,
both of the pros, right? I mean,
chonky.
of course the
Yeah,
Max more. Like I'm a Max phone person, or
yeah.
have been.
I'm
I've been using
I'm
Max phones the last few years, which are
I'm a
and I like them.
I'm a regular pro size person at the moment. Like as I pull through the rest of middle age, that might change because I'm certainly finding that bigger text can be more useful for me, and a Max will probably help. But um, the regular Pro fits really nice in my hand, so that helps me use it well. Um, but I said before I was in two minds about the color, and the reason for that is the hand-me-down process, right? Will my wife really want the bright orange phone, or would the silver be better for how she likes a phone? I don't know. So I'm sort of looking and going, what's the option to get that's going to be good for the circle of life?
Everyone likes bright orange.
Yeah, I don't think she hates it. So oh, we'll see. But honestly, I think I'm going to end up with the bright orange phone because it's calling me, Daniel. They know what they're doing. Um, but yeah, so that will be fun. And I'm looking forwards to that potential. And other than that, though, no other upgrades. My watch is still working. I don't use it in a way that means I need the latest watch for any particular feature. Um, and my iPad's still rocking on, and I don't use that enough to warrant an immediate upgrade. Um, and yeah, did we even get Mac updates with this one? We didn't, right?
We did
Like I'm
not
so out of the loop.
because
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of like so my computer is kind of at the end of its rope a little bit, and so I was like, when are new Macs coming out? But no, none are coming out. I'm kind of in the same
when
boat. Like
when
I
will
don't have
that
the new
be?
phone.
What's the rumor mill for the Mac?
Gurman says January, so probably announcement towards the end of the year and then start of the
Mm-hmm.
year. So that's what I read somewhere. Like I'm kind of out of the loop on Apple rumors. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, January, February
So
feels about right, I guess,
yeah.
because if it's any sooner, it won't even have been a year since the last refresh, right? And that sort of feels a bit speedy.
Right. What does the Mac
Yeah.
rumors buyers guide say? So anyway, to fill you in on the on the backstory. So I am using a M1 MacBook Pro with an
Yep.
M1 Pro 32 gigs of RAM. And so like this is a cool machine, like still like very capable, especially from the performance. The problem is that the machine itself is kind of falling apart a little bit. Like I'm usually very gentle with my laptops, but somehow this one has a few gremlins. It might be because it wasn't as gentle. I've been traveling a lot and I've been using it just so much.
Hmm.
It also had a logic board replacement at some point,
Right.
and so it might be that. Like, there it might be like some connector is fraying or whatever. But like sometimes when I'm plugging it into charge, either via MagSafe or via USB, it just won't charge, or the connection will be kind of flaky. But then I plug in something else like via USB for data, and the connection will be stable. So like I don't know what it is. I get
Hmm.
I get reboots every now and then, and the battery is kind of like it's still okay. Like I had the magic thing on that kind of tries to not charge your battery to full if you're using it for a long time on charge, and that seems to have worked pretty well because the battery is still okay. But yeah, like I've been feeling the not the need yet, but there's like an inkling of what would a new computer look like, and
Yeah.
so it seems nothing is set in stone yet, but it seems like this year is going to be the year where TelemetryDeck is profitable. So we're
Hmm.
like at least so we're not going bankrupt this year. It seems like, let's hope. And so I
Yep.
was like, I was feeling like maybe I do want a new computer. So over the last few weeks, I had a few looks at what Apple is selling these days, and I've been kind of underwhelmed. Like I was, I was like
Hmm.
not look, no, I was not looking at MacBooks closely for 4 years basically, and I was expecting a huge jump in performance. So I was kind of expecting, maybe I can just get an Air because the Air will obviously, like 4 generations later, be as fast as my Pro. But
Yep.
there's this GitHub repository where they benchmark Xcode build times,
Yes.
and Xcode build times is a very good benchmark for me because I do build a very large project regularly, which is the TelemetryDeck API project in Swift, but also like other stuff that I'm doing is also coding related. So it's also a good benchmark for that. I feel like so. I kind of do a little of blendering or whatever, but like if that is not something where I really measure the performance, right?
No, it
So
just
I
needs
looked
to
at
get
that.
there. Yeah.
And it was kind of disappointing, especially the iPad, the iPads, the MacBook Airs. The problem with those is they have good performance for a while, but they throttle because they don't have any fans in them, which is good
That's right.
for the silence and everything. But like you can't continuously give them workload. Like it's just not, it just can't sustain it, which is fine. But so basically, an a MacBook Air is out for me. Um,
Yeah.
and so and now then I look at the pros, and the pros are like I don't know, like if I'm not spending ludicrous amounts of money, I'm getting only 24 gigs of RAM. Like that's
Yep.
less than I have now. Like I want
I
my
know.
RAM. And I mean I haven't worked a lot with like AI models or whatever, but like I don't wanna, at least I don't want to close the door on that at some point. Like I need RAM,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, it's
Um
unlikely you'll be running local AI to do too much yet, but like I can see a world in the next few years where that's an integrated part of your IDE and experience, like some smaller models running locally. That RAM's useful one way or the other, right?
right.
And um, no, I wouldn't want to go down from 32 gigs of RAM now.
So but if I
Um,
go up, um
yeah,
these machines suddenly cost 5,000 euros,
I know, I know they get
which
to
is
ludicrous.
ludicrous. And at
Yeah,
that price range, they are faster than my current machine, but
yeah,
they're not twice as fast. They're
no,
not 1.5 times as fast. They're maybe like 30% faster, which is impressive and everything, but it is a lot of money for a for that kind of improvement. But at the
yeah,
same time, I don't want to downgrade. So
yeah.
I'm thinking, you know what? Like I don't have to buy a new computer. Like so
S-
far, like
Stick it out
if I
until
noodle
it's
around a little bit, like it will charge
yeah.
eventually. Um, so
Ah,
I think I'm sitting still and see if anything new comes around the corner towards the end of the year.
that's fair. That's fair. I mean,
So I have the Mac Rumors Buyer's Guide open just to finish
yeah.
this discussion. And I'm scrolling to the Macs. Vision Pro, iMac, Mac Mini. No. MacBook Pro, MacBook Air. Where's the MacBook Pro? Ah, here we go. All right. So the MacBook Pro has a caution label. It says days since like last release October 24. And if I click on the rumor roundup, it says, should you buy the MacBook Pro? No.
Hmm.
But it doesn't show any rumors, I think. Huh. Oh, here we go.
Ooh.
September 17. Apple's rumored MacBook Pro redesign. 6 new features anticipated. OLED display, thinner, lighter laptop, punch hole camera. Oh, that's nice. No camera bump. 5G modem, M6 series chip with 2 nanometer
Mm-hmm.
process, and touchscreen displays. I don't buy the touchscreen,
No.
but yeah, like if like half of these are coming, then that would be another. But why M6? Like the M5 isn't out, right?
Are we going to
Are
skip a
they skipping
generation
any?
there? I doubt. I really don't know. Like, um, I think it's really hard to anticipate what order they're going to release stuff in now. In some ways,
Oh,
um,
okay. Now I just read I just read the actual paragraph, and it basically says that this redesign they expect that mid to end
um,
of next year, so the M5 will come in between.
yeah. But there's always something around the corner. That's the other thing, and I think like you reach a point where the charging situation is just untenable or it stops working. Then you're going to need to upgrade anyway, right? You
Yeah,
need to have a machine to do
I'm
your
not
work on.
nervous because if this machine really
Yeah,
stops working, I have a Mac Mini in my tiny little server cabinet that I can just like pull
yep.
out and use that.
Backup
Alex
machine.
has also offered me her MacBook Air as a loaner, or I can just like
Mm-hmm.
rent one. But we have this hardware rental company where I could, in theory, just like rent a laptop for a
So
month or two.
you've
So I
got
have
options,
options, even
and there is
quick ones, and
always
all my code
there.
is
Yeah,
on GitHub, and all my passwords are in one password. So I'm like I'm
yeah.
fine. Like
You're sorted. Yeah, it's. I mean, there is always. I was just taking a look at. There is a. There's always the option of an M4 Mac Mini as well.
yes, I have considered not a Mac Mini, but like actually a Mac Studio. Like I was like, okay, if I'm spending like thousands of euros, I could just buy a desktop machine and have way
Yeah.
better like price per performance. But the thing is, I am on the go too often to
Yeah.
and then a buddy of mine, like shout out to Flo if you're listening, said, "Oh, look at this technology that allows you to basically stream your home computer or Mac to your iPad or to your MacBook Air or whatever, and just like use it without latency, basically." And I have looked at it, and it's really impressive. It's called Moonshine. I'm going to link it in the show note as well. Um, it is really impressive, but like after thinking about it for a few days, um, I have decided against it. I don't want to base the entire my entire development process on something that is that rickety. Like, oh yeah, I need 2 computers and an internet connection. All three of
Mm-hmm.
these things need to work
To tie it
perfectly
together.
for me
Yeah.
to be able to do my work,
Yeah.
and I need to maintain the 2 computers and the software and the internet connection,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like that's too brittle.
Yeah. I've kind of. I've ran into some similar things just in terms of my own setup. I have a Mac Studio M2, and that's doing really well. I mean, I haven't really got any performance issues for what I do that are
Mm.
slowing me down. So that's been an awesome choice. Um, and as I said earlier, I'm fortunate. I've got a home office set up as well, so I can be in here and it's there, and I'm not on the go in the same way. However, I am. around my house, and I do end up on an evening like, oh, I just want to check, something on my computer, especially when I've been running. I said I wasn't going to mention it on the show, but like when I've been running Claude Code stuff and it's just been running through a load of things. Um, and I find myself VNCing through screen sharing onto my Mac, either from my phone or my iPad to check stuff. It's a really imperfect experience. And I have also ended up using my MacBook Air to then remote and work through screen sharing. And that kind of works. I can set the high bandwidth because I'm at home, and yeah, it's sort of good enough, but it's still um, the only reason that really works is because I never try and do anything dev wise on that MacBook Air now. Like the studio is the dev machine, so I go into that. So I'm not quote unquote maintaining two machines to try and you know. But if I was actually on the move, I can tell you what would end up happening is that yeah, there'll come a point where that connection's broken some way, or the
Or the
internet's gone
studio
down
would
at home.
reboot for an update and not be reachable anymore. And like, you need to just like
Maybe,
go
or
in there,
something
press
like
one
that.
button, something like
Yeah.
that. Like,
And then all of a sudden you're straight back round into, right, now I'm going to check out the repo locally. Oh no, I didn't keep Xcode or whatever up to date on this machine. Now I've got to download that. And then before you know it, you're actually trying to do the whole thing of just keeping two machines in sync. Um, So I don't know, listeners of the show, if you've got a working setup in this way that you really love, like feel free to email us, contact@waitingforreview.com.
yes. Or mention
Um,
us on Mastodon. Like, just write me at
yeah,
daniel@social.telemetrydeck.com. Like, I mean, as any normal person would just like say, I
yeah,
keep this laptop that mostly works, or spend not a ludicrous amount of money on a laptop
yeah,
that, yeah, and
yeah.
yeah.
And maybe a stopgap if you're waiting for the next round of updates for a laptop replacement is an iPad for on the go with a keyboard, right? And then not necessarily remoting in, but using apps and services on that to do what you do.
I
Maybe.
So I have actually I'm trying this out right now. Like, so one of the
Yeah.
things that I'm annoyed at, or that happens these days, is I have my laptop with me everywhere, and my laptop weighs 2.5 kilos. That is about I don't know, 17 Newton meters for the Americans, and it is kind of heavy, and like it's big-ish. Like, it's the 14-inch, but it's still a
Mm-hmm.
big device, right? 14 inches is not is large.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want something tiny, because like, and I've been like, we've talked about this before. Like, I see like
Yeah.
a small laptop, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And so but like on the other end of the spectrum, if I try to do stuff on the phone, like, there's just like not enough room. And so I
Yeah.
actually like I borrowed an iPad, so this is not mine, but I was allowed to put my own account on it. Like, I kind of made a
Yep.
backup, wiped it, and I've added my favorite SSH app, Secure Shellfish. I've
Mm-hmm.
added on it NetBird, which is what I'm using to use VPN basically into my machines.
Yep.
And I can like, what I can do with this setup is I can take this with me and have a device where, if all the servers are suddenly falling over, I can probably like put out the fire.
Yep.
And this is cool. Also, it's a nice device. Like, I can play Roller Coaster Tycoon on it. But I don't feel like I could develop on this machine. Like, even if I had a keyboard for it, because
Yeah.
like, this is like, it's nice for to dos, for email, stuff like that. But the app model on the iPad, like, we've had this discussion 20 billion
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Like, the app
Yeah.
model on the
Yeah.
iPad does not work for me personally for development stuff. Like, even
That's
if
fair.
I had Xcode, even if I had like like, you know, like, I can't even, like, it probably would like technically work, like, if you built
Yeah.
enough in, or if I remote in, like if this is the remote screen I'm using, it could also probably work, but it wouldn't
Yeah.
be. Oh yeah, this is like it wouldn't feel. It wouldn't feel very very stable or good, to be honest.
Fair enough. I mean, um, it's it's more just a thought. I think thinking there, like if you are taking that iPad on the move, and if you did have a keyboard with it, like you could, in theory, leave your laptop plugged into remote too, and then you've got your lightweight, put the fires out device, but you've also got the option of going in that way. Um, I don't know. Maybe there's something there, Daniel, like just in terms of for those moments when you
Like
really don't want to take the
what I
laptop
could
out.
totally do, and what I've considered is like putting the I misspoke, by the way, earlier. The server app is called Sunshine, not Moonshine.
Ah,
I
yeah.
could I put it on the show notes as well. Um, I could what I might actually do is put Sunshine on the Mac Mini that is always
Hmm.
on and connected to the internet, and also
Yep.
has like this machine has like all the stuff that I need to develop stuff. Um, and so if I really really need to and have the iPad with me, I could probably do stuff,
Yeah.
because the iPad is the machine that I want to take with me if I don't take the laptop, right?
Yeah.
So that could be like that. Also could be like a, oh yeah, in case of emergency, like
Yeah.
type of
You've got
thing,
a
but like
dev environment you can get in.
not in like not a, oh yeah, this is just regular like how I do my work. Like
No.
this is probably not how I want to regularly do my work, which is
No.
fine. Like,
I get that. I get that. And hey, you know what? Maybe in a few months' time, they'll have updated the MacBook Pros, and you can have a normal charging experience with
sure.
MagSafe as well.
Yeah,
That's
MagSafe
going to feel
started
like,
like stopped working months ago, back when I was in like, oh, it was still, it's like back in Augsburg. Like, I
mhm,
remember every time we podcasted in Augsburg in my old office, the MagSafe would kind of stop, and I would kind of like noodle around with it on the side, like to make it work again. And so I remember like that was like every time before our podcast, I would switch out switch from MagSafe to USB-C, so I could like
yeah.
have power on my my machine.
I know you're
Ah,
managing
yeah,
with it,
those
Daniel,
were
but
the
I think
days.
when you upgrade, it's going to be like, oh, thank goodness, like all
Yes,
these
yes. Everyone
niggles are
get a
solved.
TelemetryDeck subscription so I can charge my laptop.
Yeah, but
Yes.
on that note, Daniel, though, I think I'm going to have to wrap up with you here today. Unless you've
Good,
got
good.
anything small
Do you
to.
have like 5 more minutes?
5 minutes is good. I'm
Something.
just aware I'm going to have those people coming around to do that quote, so I probably shouldn't
Right.
be too
Okay.
long.
I'm looking
But
at the
five
clock.
minutes is good.
5 minutes. So
Yeah.
one thing that I have done differently, like with okay. So iOS 26 came out, right? And what I always do when a new Apple release comes out, like a big one, like a point 0 release, is I kind of look at TelemetryDeck's global data set and see it rolling out across the world. And I love seeing that. It's so cool. But the problem is I didn't have like I couldn't really share that, because I could take a screenshot and post it, but like that's basically it, right? And the process
Yep.
to update the surveys that we have on the main TelemetryDeck website is kind of involved. Like it's like we at some point I need to put in some work into that, but basically you need to put in like 20 minutes to update that page. And so it's not something that I can update every hour or something like that. But I like 2 weeks ago, no, last week, I realized that we do have notebooks, and notebooks, TelemetryDeck notebooks, are not shareable. So I built a notebook that shows the rollout for iOS 26, and I just
Screen
like
share it.
updated it
Let's just
every.
see
Yeah,
it
I'm
quickly
gonna screen
on
share it.
for
I
those on
just
the
updated.
YouTubes. You'll get this.
I updated it every hour automatically,
Yeah.
and it worked beautifully. And we got so many shares, like so many people joined the discussion. so many people talked about it, shared it, reshared it, and or just like looked at it, and it was not a lot of work. So to keep this updated, and
Hmm.
still like it's kind of pretty. I'm trying a new color scheme where like I'm basically marking the most important part of the chart in TelemetryDeck orange and the rest of the chart in like very bright orange. That's almost whitish,
Yeah,
and yeah,
that's really
this was
cool.
so cool because the technology was all there. I just had to automate that every hour the thing would press the button. And this is shareable because it doesn't hit the calculation servers. It kind of takes a snapshot of the calculated data at that time so it can show the
Yes,
charts. And it is cool and it's interactive. Like you can still look at the charts and hover over them and whatever. And like, kind of, I don't know, like disable parts of the charts. It's just like it gives me a tiny bit of happiness and joy.
that's great. I'm
And
looking at that now, and it's just yeah, it's really cool. You can see the so somewhat what I'm seeing there, right, in those charts with that sort of like it's building and it bumps and it bumps and comes back down again a bit. Is that people's is that Apple's rollout also kind of like a lag on that as people are updating and using, or is that more like to do with times of day where people are using this in different parts of the world? Because like the percentage 26 seems to be quite high and then goes back down again a little bit and then keeps going up. So it's always
right.
nudging up a bit.
So what we are looking at is like hour by hour, which how many of like telemetry events in the global data set are actually containing iOS 26. And so, of
Hmm.
course, if there's a higher volume of users, then then usually the percentage will go down a little bit. So this is why
Yep.
above of that I actually put the absolute numbers here. And so you
Yep.
can see like people are using their phones over the course of the day, and then in the evening it goes down, and then over the course of the next day it kind of goes
Yep.
up again, right? And so of course you will have a little bit of fluctuation from that. If you
Okay.
look at the bigger picture, though, like on September 15 at 20 GMT, so 1 hour after the release, suddenly it very quickly jumps up. And these are the people who kind of update their phones because they
Immediately.
know
Yeah.
it's coming. Like they go to settings, software update, and they click like, hey, I want to update my phone now. And this
Yeah.
is basically this first wave. Like, and this is like usually about like 20% of people they update over the course of
Hmm.
the first week. And so we see that. And
Yep.
what happens later is that people will like in about a week, usually experience wise, Apple will actually send customers a notification that will say like, hey, do you want to update to iOS 26? And so there will be another very significant bump to
Yep.
usually 60%. Like they usually go like 20%, 20%, 20%. And
Yep.
if they're at 60% or so, they will like try to like they will usually go to 80% and then not get the last 60, the last 20%. They will just like be stragglers. Like even here,
Yeah.
like you don't see this because I like we have like still
6% on
3.3%
17.
iOS 17 users, and
Yeah.
those you just can't get them. Like they will buy a new phone at some point.
Yeah. Just
That's
to
how
double
they
check,
update.
Daniel, are we missing? This is only for these three OSs, right?
Right.
So there is a percentage potentially on older than 17.
Yes. Yeah. This
Yeah.
is like there's like a few like a 0 point something percent on 16 and earlier.
Yep.
Go to like the telemetrydeck.com/survey to see the full things. Like, but this is just like a good way to visualize. Oh yeah, like people are actually updating. But I promised you 5 minutes, so my 5 minutes are up. I put the
That's
link to the
okay.
notebook in the
Yep.
show notes. I will update it periodically. Thank you so much. I just like found it that
That's
A, it's
awesome
super
to
interesting
see.
to look at the data,
Yeah.
and B, it was a really good marketing tool, which is something that like I like giving people that something of value, and then even like getting back their attention. That feels like a good deal and
Yeah.
not very sleazy. So I liked it.
Well, it's a win-win, and that's
Yes.
always awesome. Ah, well, we can wrap up here. I will do a callback in the next show because I had a note to talk about supporting old devices.
Right.
but we'll bury the lead and talk about that next time.
Right. Do you want to do the outro? Because you did the intro as well.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I've not done the outro in ages. Hardly ever at all. Let's have a look. Crikey, I need the outro notes. Right. So, thanks for listening. Please rate us on iTunes and YouTube. Check out our YouTube. It's a thing we do. You can see us bobbing around as we talk to each other. This is not the outro. Let me keep going. And send us emails at contact@waitingforreview. Join our Discord. There is actually an indie development Discord that we are inside of, and it would be cool to see more of you there. That's in the show notes. But yeah, where can people find you, Daniel?
Oh yeah, find me on Mastodon at daniel@social.telemetrydeck.com or on TikTok with break the system, but there's a dash between the E and the between the A and the K of break the system because I broke it, but it's a horrible username to spell it out. So maybe just go to the show notes because there's a link to my TikTok this time. And you? Where can people find you?
You can find me mostly these days on Instagram. My account there is Lightbeam Apps. But otherwise, I am actually back on Mastodon and have been for a little while. That's in the show notes.
I've noticed.
Yeah, and Blue Sky as well. So it will be lovely to have people have me there. But check those out in the show notes.
Blue Sky is growing on me as well. Like it's picking up speed for me personally. Anyway, thank you so much. Oh yeah, chore. Your chore, listener, for this week is clean your bike. Like your bike, the chainset of your bike is horribly grimy. It's bad for your bike. It will make you pedal harder. Clean it. Put in new oil. It's really nice feeling afterwards. And it's not that much work. There's like a 3-minute YouTube tutorial that is really good. Find it. Clean your bike. That's your chore.
Do you know what?
Bye.
That's a chore I'm actually going to do.
Good boy.
Yeah, I'll send you a photo if I do this weekend.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Take care, Daniel. Bye-bye, mate.
See ya. It's been great. Bye.